Sousa Show. Sports, team.
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
At Rolls Rolo, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today. At 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
The Pete Sousa Show. Here we are. We are live and we are coming to you from San Francisco. Yeah, we are gearing up for a big game tonight. CSUN is getting set to play Stanford. Now, if you're sitting at home and you're like, who is CSUN, right? In all honesty, when I got the assignment from ESPN, I was like, who is CSUN? It's Cal State Northridge, kind of like a rebranding situation there. And it's one of those things like I cannot call them Cal State Northridge. I cannot call them Northridge. They are CSUN, baby. And they have had a hell of a season, 22 wins. That ties for the most in program history. Not that you so much are looking for that information this morning, but I have it. And I'm willing to share it with you. So that game is tonight, 11 Eastern, 10 Central on ESPN2, Stanford and CSUN. And I'm pretty pumped to bring that broadcast. I mean, anybody look, this time of year, there's not as much basketball, not as many teams playing because of the consequences of not making the regular season, or some of the fruits of the labor, which guys are going onto the NCAA tournament. But playing the postseason is something that is cherished. And at the end of the day, we're competitors, we're fans, all mixed into this one big pot, right? We're players, we're coaches. So the more of this stuff we can get, the better, in my opinion. I love it. Some big stories. The West Virginia fallout still remains. I have some thoughts on that. North Carolina plays tonight against San Diego State. The play-ins are underway. Also, St. Francis and Alabama State play tonight, the first four from Dayton, Ohio. So I really can't wait for that. And we are we're going to have Corey Dickman on too. We're going to get into the March Madness picks, and that's exciting because it means that it's here, and it also means that I've filled out brackets. I filled out one bracket. I have to fill out a couple more. I'm looking forward to doing that. I came out here last night. I prepared on the plane. It was a long plane ride for like 4 hours, which is so I'm like good to go for this game. I feel good about that. And I was feeling so good about it that when I got to my hotel, actually I was on the plane and I had the Wi-Fi going, and little Cam texted me about the Karen Reed documentary that dropped on HBO. And I literally, it was like I was knocking people over in my mind mentally to get to that HBO Max documentary, which I've watched, and we'll share some thoughts later in the week, but too much to talk about this morning. But the Karen Reed situation is always something I got season tickets to. I want to have Claire Sanama back on to do like a psychology session on absolutely why I am so true crime. Just like, I don't know what my problem is, but I don't know, man. It's alluring to me. Maybe it's like an unhealthy side of me, or I'm not quite sure. But what is healthy is the NCAA tournament, which gets underway tonight. Hard to believe. So we've got North Carolina and San Diego State. That's the matchup that everybody's going to be looking at. 7 o'clock Central Time. West Virginia's governor spoke out yesterday about North Carolina getting into the NCAA tournament over West Virginia and Indiana. I was on here yesterday, just saying my piece about, hey, like, I think this was unfair. I think that, a coach told me one time that if you don't have somebody in the room who's pulling for you, immediately, that's something where you're going to be at a deficit, right? And I think we saw that. North Carolina's athletic director was on the selection committee. He's the chair of the selection committee. There was, I think, human fallout from that, for lack of a better term, that led to North Carolina getting in the tournament and West Virginia not getting in the tournament. Now, I think it stops with idiots like me talking about it. Like, I do not think we need politicians involved in this. I do not think this is like a wild conspiracy theory. I believe in the conspiracy theories, like what Scotty said yesterday. Like, yeah, do I believe that the committee maybe thought to themselves, like, man, this would be quite the matchup, right? Baylor and Duke in the second round. I think maybe there's something to that, right? I mean, there it is. VJ Edgecombe and Cooper Flagg. John Shire is their head coach. And so that's something to get excited about. But the dark conspiracy theories, I just think it was, like I said yesterday, it was the human element coming into play, which we see so often in life. Like, human beings make mistakes. Human beings get caught up in emotions. Human beings take the wrong turn. There's passion, there's emotion. And although we give these people jobs where they're supposed to clear the deck of all that stuff, time and time again, we see that ultimately that comes into play more often than we would probably like. And we saw that with the selection committee. And maybe there's a fix. Like, I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. But to think that the governor of West Virginia needs to hold a press conference, that's up there Actually, I guess it's way worse than Hal Steinbrenner holding a press conference about the Yankees' facial hair. I don't think that it's necessary, and I don't think that he's not doing the state of West Virginia any favors. Like this morning, I was watching First Take, and say what you want about First Take, but it's pretty low hanging fruit for them to go after. Now you got Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith going after the state of West Virginia, just basically saying, like, I think you guys got bigger fish to fry. And Shannon Sharp's like, yeah, the education system. And then Stephen A. is like, and he made a great point. At some point, they might have to take the microphone away from this dude, because he will be a presidential candidate, quite possibly, and the equal time thing will have to somehow come into play. Because Stephen A. said, hey, this is why a guy like me is involved in conversations for president, because of stuff like this. Like, I'm really not too far off, am I? Like, with a wink and a smile. But anyways, I think we've gotten enough run out of that, right? And it is one of those deals where I heard Jay Billis say it, he said 10 years ago, I probably would have been way more upset about it. He said, but now I don't, it's a basketball thing and I don't get too involved into, the conspiracy side of it. And Billis also mentioned, which I thought was a really cool throwback. One of the biggest conspiracies of all time is the New York Knicks getting Patrick Ewing in 1985. And as the story goes, Patrick Ewing, the Knicks won the lottery to get the first pick. And obviously the NBA can use good players in New York and LA. And Patrick Ewing was like nothing we've ever seen before. Patrick Ewing, I mean, like if AJ DeBansta, or however you say his last name, which I'll figure that out over the course of the next few months here, a few days. If that guy's getting $7 million from BYU, I swear to God, Pat Ewing would have gotten like $12 million. Like that is Patrick Ewing at Georgetown was the scariest stuff you've ever seen in your life. So he was a sure thing in the NBA. And so the draft lottery takes place. The Knicks get the number 1 pick. Back then, it wasn't that they would put envelopes, right? There were envelopes, not the ping pong balls. The envelopes were in like a thing that you turn around, like something you'd see at a state fair. And the rumor was that the Knicks envelope for number 1, which would give them the top pick, right, was in a refrigerator or a freezer. So it was frozen. So all you had to do was dig around a little bit. You'd get the cold envelope, pull it out, and the Knicks would get Patrick Ewing, right? Ultimately, the Knicks got the number 1 pick, but that was the story, that there was a lot of Travis mockery behind that, tomfoolery, some might say. And David Stern was once asked about that, I think by Jay Billis. And, Stern said, you realize that that's a federal offense. Like, we go to prison if we do that. And I'm not quite sure people understand. And we're not talking about war games. We're talking about sports games, okay? I'm not saying that crazy stuff doesn't go on at the highest levels of government. But I just don't think it's that deep, right? I just don't think it's that deep. So we're out of that conversation. It's time to move on and celebrate the tournament. I do think one thing we should really keep in mind about North Carolina, and we saw this in 2011 with VCU, this can be fuel to the fire, right? Just like when people are talking about UC San Diego and Michigan, right? Everybody's talking about UC San Diego is the upset darling at 12 to beat Michigan. Well, Michigan is hearing that. Michigan is, okay, like that stuff is real. That human side of it is real. Another thing on the Michigan topic while we're here, and this hit me last night. What do conference tournaments mean? I'm about to get on a little bit of a soapbox here. Michigan ran the gamut, right? They beat Maryland, they beat Purdue, and then they beat Ohio State to win the Big Ten title. And by all accounts, before the Big 12 tournament happened, Michigan was on the 5 line, right? Like as a 5 seed. So they run the gamut. They beat like all those top 10 teams, and they're still a 5 seed. Like we're losing our credibility here when it comes to saying, okay, guys, play these conference tournaments like your life depends on it. It's as though we're focused so much on the mid-majors. Okay, you guys bust your ass. We've got automatic bids for you here. Go ahead, go get it. That's what we celebrate. That's what we focus on. That is very real. Over here, we've got the big dogs playing. Yeah, it's not going to change much about you guys. You're already kind of squared away. We've already figured out where you are. That is something that will really be looked at. That West Virginia example, that Michigan example is something that is like really, really big time BS when you look at that. Another element about the tournament as we get set to go here, I think a bigger story than anyone is going to let on yet, and this is like a hot take. We can just get the short ready to go right here, okay? Cooper Flagg and his health going into the NCAA tournament. I have heard too much scuttlebutt already. Too much noise, too many people who I guess respect talking about that this does not, there's a lot at play here, a lot of outside stuff that's like, this is not a turnkey situation. Like, for instance, Billis says, hey, it's a sprained ankle. He's going to be fine. It's no big deal. But then you get other folks outside the realm of common sense talking about Cooper Flagg, his NBA future, what this injury could do to him long term, which I side with Billis. I don't think it will do anything. I think he'll be fine. I think we overrate a lot of this stuff. But I think there's a lot of outside players involved now that could quite possibly keep him from playing the way he needs to, even if that's in round one and he comes back in round two and maybe Duke is somewhat disjointed. The reason that's important is because if they're somewhat disjointed against a hot Baylor team, now we're talking. And there's also the reality that maybe he really is hurt a little worse than we know right now. Like, Keshawn Gilbert is missing the entire NCAA tournament, right? He's the leading scorer for Iowa State. Iowa State is a 4 seed, right? Iowa State are they a 3 seed or a 4 seed? Scotty, help me out. I'm looking at my list here. I'm going to get that right. Iowa State is a 3 seed. Okay. So Iowa State's a 3. Thanks, Scotty. They might not be a 3 if we had known that Keshawn Gilbert was going to be out for the entire tournament. That's not something that I was like, that's BS. I'm just saying that's a real possibility, right? Like, maybe they kept that close to the vest because of the possible impact that would have on their seeding. I'm not saying that's what's going on with Duke by any means, but I am saying that if we're looking to get full transparency from John Shire and Duke before the NCAA tournament on Cooper Flagg's health and availability, I don't think that's any place we're going to get an apt description or reality of what's going on there. I don't. And so I think there's a lot of, when you think about it this way, it's like, remember back when, some of you won't, but when I was younger, before every major, the big bet would be like Tiger Woods or the field, right? Like, that's basically what it was. Like the field almost had like worse odds than Tiger Woods, but the bottom line was the field is just so much crap out there that could happen, right? And then you got Tiger Woods, who is this known entity that we've seen a body of work from and we trust. So all the injury noise and nonsense, that's the field right now. And Cooper Flagg is like Tiger Woods. And so I'm just starting to think that the field, right, all the noise, the possible reality that it could be a worse injury than we think. Maybe, John Shire says we have to rest Cooper Flagg at least until the second weekend. Like, those are things that could come into play. And the reason I bring this up, especially here, is because they could really help Baylor. And Baylor's first got to get through Mississippi State. Mississippi State's really good. And the Hubbard kid is really good. And if he can get going and score a lot of points, Baylor could be in trouble. One of the things I really don't like about this matchup for Baylor is that Mississippi State's an SEC team. And I am not quite sure when you hear people talk, again, like Billis, like this is top to bottom, the best conference some of these guys say they've ever seen, like the depth of the conference. Like if you saw South Carolina play this year, they were the worst team in the SEC. They were like good. And so I think that is a little worrisome for Baylor when you almost might not even know how good Mississippi State is right now, coming out of the SEC. I would love to be able to come out here and talk to you guys on Monday about at least Baylor winning the first round game and the fact that the SEC wasn't quite the monster we thought it was. You know, that would be something I'd be very happy to share with you guys. And by the way, the Pete Sousa Show is presented by Slovacics, Sikora Family Ford, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, D1, Crawford Austin Properties, the Extraco Bank, love Extraco Bank, and we love First National Bank of Central Texas. See, when you're doing this the right way, you got so much money, you don't even know what bank to put it in, right? So that's what we're working on here. Well, let's get one question from Bear the Truth before we get into our pick segment with Corey Dickman. Bear the Truth. God, it's so good to hear from you, Brian. All right, considering Baylor, let's read it the right way because I know Brian doesn't make any mistakes. Considering a Baylor has to play small ball, who do you think would be a better draw from a first game standpoint? Scotty, help me out with the context here. What do you think he means? Considering Baylor has to play small ball, who do you think would be a better draw from a first game standpoint?
I'm not sure I know what he means either. Sorry.
Brian, come on, man. He's working too hard on that pet furniture. That's what happens when you're over there, like taking care of this, like
that's right.
Amazing craftsmanship, right? I will say this. Let me say one thing about Baylor small ball, and then I want to see what you have to say, Scotty. I think that you mentioned the small ball, Bear the Truth. I think that could be something for Baylor that really gives them a puncher's chance, even against a team like Duke. I really believe that. I really, really believe that. If Norchad Omier can stay out of foul trouble and play a little bit better defense, and Cooper Flagg isn't at 100%, and look, man, maybe we can harken back into the days when Fran Fraschilla used to say about Baylor, more guards than Buckingham Palace, right? If we could get Jeremy Roach coming in off the bench making noise, Jaden Nunn making noise, right? Then you've got VJ Edgecombe, and you've also got Rob Wright. We're coming at you from everywhere, right? I don't want to see Marino Dubravicic, especially if he's injured. Not for more than a minute, okay? All right. In 2 minutes, we're going to see Corey Dickman. We got picks coming up. The NCAA tournament starts tonight. I feel like I'm lathered up now on the road in San Francisco. Scotty Swingler's back in the studio. By the way, you got to watch Please Bear With Me. If you're not watching it, you're missing out. Like, because this time of year, we're gearing up. If you're a football fanatic, we're gearing up for the NFL draft. The combine is behind us. Spring football is really no more. And so it's time to get locked in on college football. And Please Bear With Me is an amazing podcast that breaks down the history of Baylor football and the greats in Baylor football. And it includes Baylor greats like Terrence Ganaway every week. All right. Sorry, man. Bear the Truth's clearing this up. What I meant to say is, who would you rather see Baylor play first round, considering they're having to play small ball? Well, I'm fine with them playing Mississippi State. I really am. The problem is Mississippi State can be tough and rugged, but I think that's where Norchad Omier comes into play. All right, we're going to step aside and come back with Corey Dickman, the Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics. We sent Ray a message yesterday about Jana Van Geitenbeek talking about Slovacics. Ray's a mystery man. He doesn't respond, but we know he reads them. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now.
And now, back to our show.
What a wonderful time of year. We're getting set to bring up Corey Dickman. One thing I want to say about Slovacek. So there he is. Hey, yeah, Corey Dickman.
There we are.
One more thing about Slovacek. We got a text after the Jana Van Geitenbeek interview yesterday. And Tony from Denver says his go-to is the ground sausage and pepper jack cheese kolache. So there you go. So people from all over the country are talking about Slovaceks, and we'd love to talk about them here. And now Corey Dickman is going to talk about how we can eat right now in March, baby.
How we can eat. I think Fran Fraschilla stops at Slovaceks when he goes through to come to Waco.
He does. But then if he'll big time you if you ask him if you can get him anything. He's like, I'm good.
Hey,
I don't need you to get me anything.
I saw him one time at Chick-fil-A. I was working there, Pete, one point in time, and he was eating his dinner, and I just went up and talked to him. Nicest guy. I know you know him well. You guys are best friends, but
but isn't that? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's the kind of guy he is, right? Just eating Chick-fil-A. Yeah, talking to him.
Okay. Anyway,
hey, let me ask you a question before we start. What did you think about all the fallout from West Virginia not getting into the tournament and North Carolina getting in? Big deal or no deal?
You know, and Pete, can you still hear me? My earbuds dropped off. Can you still hear me? Okay, I'm gonna take these suckers out. Yeah. You know, it's North Carolina. You know what? You can't keep the Tar Heels out of the tournament, Pete. And I think West Virginia, I don't think did enough. I think they would have been a first round out. North Carolina, I mean, the point guard, Davis.
Yes.
Right. I mean, he could lead them to a Sweet 16 berth. West Virginia, I don't know.
Well, look,
and who's their guy that was hurt? Who's their guy? That was the whole excuse.
Yeah, he's been hurt since December, Corey. Here's what I would say to West Virginia fans that are crying in their coffee once again this morning. You lost to Colorado, the worst team in the Big 12, in your first opportunity in the Big 12 tournament. So that makes it tough. You know, that makes it tough.
And speaking from a fan of a team that also lost to Colorado, who didn't kill our berth in the tournament, but it made it a little difficult. You know, you can't lose to Colorado. So,
but honestly, real quick, I do want to imagine Baylor was not that close. I haven't even thought about this. I get goosebumps thinking about it, like fear goosebumps. Baylor very easily could have traded positions with West Virginia. Like one or two bounces of the ball going the wrong way. Baylor, we're all sitting at home, you know, and Scott Drew and Linda Livingstone is talking to the media, appealing for government help because Baylor got screwed over. So thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, what was it? A 3-point win against TCU? They're, they're the second to last game of the Big 12 play. I mean, if Baylor doesn't win that game, they get reseeded. I don't know who we'd end up playing in the Big 12 tournament. Lose that first round game. Yeah, I mean, we would have been right there on the bubble too. So, West Virginia, I hear you. Our boy. Oh man, what's our boy's name, Pete? We were talking about him last week. West Virginia guy.
Coos.
The Coos. I got to hear what the Coos has to say about this.
Coos is on fire, I bet.
At fire, but anyway, yeah. Pete, I grew up a Tar Heel fan. I don't know why. You had to pick Duke or North Carolina, and I was always a North Carolina fan. So I'm glad they got in.
You had to do that in Portland?
We still are Oregon. I mean, I'm an Oregon State household. When I moved to Texas, you naturally just have to grab onto any Oregon team you can. So then I became an Oregon fan just naturally. But Tar Heels were. I mean, I had a basketball, North Carolina basketball as a kid in my bedroom. I don't know. I just
that speaks to the power of the Blue Bloods. It really does. It really does,
man. When I was a kid, my dad he had an office bracket pool that he would do every year. And my dad, and my dad, Pete, he's a great, he doesn't know anything about college basketball. So he would let me fill it out. And the first year I got to fill it out, I think I was 12. That was the year North Carolina wins with Sean May and Felton, Rashad McCants, and that team that was just stacked. It played Illinois in the final. I think I had 3 of the 4 Final Four teams. I had Illinois, North Carolina. Was it Kentucky? There was some crazy Kentucky game. Anyway, I almost had all 4 Final Four teams. That was the last time I ever did that good. The last time. It's been so long. But everyone in my dad's office thought that was him. They were like, Randy, why did you pick North Carolina? And my dad was like, oh, I like the blue color. So anyway.
Meanwhile, we got Corey Brackets at home sitting in front of all these papers. All right. Well, by the way, I don't know that now is a good time to tell people that we're going through a tournament drought with you because we're about to give your picks. So let's go.
That's true. Here we go. I'm not a UConn guy, so I've really been screwed the last 2 years. So
these are different too. What we're doing today, for people, just so you know, okay, we're going all in bets, Benjamin bets, whatever you want to call it. It's time to make that March Madness money, right? Go. That's what it's time to do, right? And efficient lending brings us these betting segments, and we love efficient lending. Yeah, and I want you to jump out, reach out to efficient lending. If you're looking for, if you're in the market for a house, all right, that's what we need you to do. Okay. Yep. And as much as we talk about the mortgage bet and stuff, that's kind of up to you. We're hoping you guys save your own money and stuff. But this is a way to supplement, right? Do you want a 4-bedroom house or do you want a 6-bedroom house? Like this is the opportunity. Yep. So how many picks do you have for us today, Corey?
All right, Pete, I got 5 picks.
I have 5 picks. Too.
Oh, you got 5 too. Okay, I got 5 picks, but then I got the mortgage bet. So it's technically 6. Well, and then I have 2 futures, so it's technically 8. But we'll go quickly, okay?
Let's do it. Hold on. I want to be able to write these down as you go. Oh, Scotty's got him. All right,
Scotty, you got him, Scotty. Okay, Scotty. I think. Are we going in order, Scotty? I think we're gonna go in order here. That's my assumption.
Yes,
we're gonna start. We're going in order. All right, Pete. We have an 8 seed here that I think will cover, and that's Gonzaga -5.5. I think this is going to be part of the secret sauce of this tournament. The SEC, I know 14 teams in the tournament. They're going to have a terrible first and second round. Awful. Okay. I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad, and the selection committee is going to be under fire yet again that they let in 14 teams when honestly it was a top-heavy league. If we're being honest, there's 4 teams in that league that dominate. The other 10, Pete, I think you could have left them out, but whatever. So give me Gonzaga -5.5 over the Georgia Bulldogs in the.
I liked it. Great graphic too, Scotty. All right, so we got Gonzaga.
Awesome. And remember, Pete, I know you're at home. You're just picking your bracket, so the point.
No, we're doing these against the spread.
We're doing these against the spread. So 5.5. Gonzaga has to win by 6, and they are going to. All right. Okay. I know I just said the SEC was crap, but Arkansas +4.5. And Scotty, did we have Kansas here on accident? Is that where the check mark is going? I can't. Oh no. Okay, good. All right, just making sure. I trust
man.
Scotty Swingler. What's our boy's name? Fland? Is that his last name? He's coming back for this game.
Okay, yeah.
Fland is his first name. It's an interesting name. When Arkansas was at its peak this season, he was playing. He's been out a long time. Guess who's coming back in this first round match, Pete? So Arkansas will be full strength. This is probably the matchup of the two greatest coaches in the last 15 years, like hands down.
Certainly, certainly when you look at the tournament.
Well, okay. And who's the Mississippi State coach? I have no idea. But I'm saying, Scotty, I'm saying coach versus coach. You gotta have both coaches in order to have that win there. So okay. So Arkansas plus 4.5. Kansas is on. Man, this was a season they need to forget. Move on in life. 4.5 points is too many. Arkansas underdog in this. They're going to outright win it. But give me the plus 4.5 just to cover the spread.
Okay. All right. I got you. So you got Arkansas over Kansas plus 4.5. Here we go.
Now,
this is a big one.
This is a big one. Our producer extraordinaire, Scotty, I think we're on the same page here. I love Rick Pitino and St. John's. I think this team has the grit. They clearly play defense. They're like, fourth in the country in defensive efficiency. They want to get at it. This is a team that I don't think will let up against anybody. And Omaha comes in here. Was this their first year making it? Isn't this their first year? Or
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay. Well, anyway, St. John's minus 18.5. They're going to lock down this Omaha team. There's no way they don't win this game going away by 27, 28 points. I mean, Omaha will not be able to score. St. John's is going to cruise.
Interesting wrinkle with St. John's. I heard the stat yesterday. The last time with this type of shooting resume made it to the Final Four because they can't shoot that well, right?
No.
We're both Rick Pitino teams at Louisville. One won a championship and the other went to the Final Four. So the last time you looked at a team and said, oh, they can't shoot, but they play great defense. Will they make it to the tournament or win the championship? Yeah, Rick Pitino's done that twice with teams just like this. He's done it. Yeah. So I couldn't agree more.
That was a big time. You're talking about the one they played Michigan, right? I think in the finals. Or I mean, that's great Louisville team. Yeah. So give me St. John's. Give me Rick Pitino. Okay. Slaughters Omaha. Just slaughters them. Not even close. Okay. All right. Moving on. Now, we talked about Calipari, Arkansas. Now we go to his old team, Kentucky. I don't believe him, Pete. I've told you, the SEC, it's 4 teams deep. Count them, 4. Troy is going to win. Troy is going to upset Kentucky. I know the Kentucky offense is incredible. It's a beautiful brand of basketball, blah, 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 blah. Troy comes in, they're hungry. They have a great point guard. I'm forgetting his name, but he was the player of the year in that conference. Troy is going to win this game. Forget the plus 10.5. You want to for sure take plus 10.5. Take the outright win here, Pete. It's plus 550. Take the win. Count your money at the table, or don't count your money at the table. Go collect it at the cage when you check out. Give me Troy.
A little bit of varnish, I think. I think that's what they call it. A little bit of add to that. Mark Pope has never won an NCAA tournament game. So it could be.
He's still not. He's still not going to win one. Yeah.
So there you go. He's never coached to win an NCAA tournament game. So, God, if he lost that game, that would be crazy. Okay.
Oof. Can't wait. At first, I thought this was Troy that's 15 minutes down the road from Waco. I had to research. Not that Troy. It's a different Troy. I'm joking. Okay. All right, last one. This one's a little sketchy because we don't know who Illinois is going to play. Xavier or the frauds from UT that should not be in this tournament, but that's fine. So it's UT. It's Pete. I don't want to break any news, but that program has a lot of money down there. So whatever. Illinois, it doesn't matter. Xavier, UT, they could play. Who else? They're going to win this. I love Illinois. I think Illinois is a lock for the Sweet 16. I think Illinois is going to make some noise in this March Madness bracket or this tournament pool. But 5.5, they're covering the spread.
Wow. Okay, I disagree, but we'll move on.
I've watched one Big Ten game this season. It featured Illinois. I saw it, Pete. I saw the look in their eye. they're going to
I
win.
saw one too where they lost to Duke by 60. So.
Well, but it's Duke. It's that doesn't count.
All right,
They're
what
not
do
playing Duke. They're playing Xavier or the frauds from Austin. So they're going to win anyway.
I can't wait till Baylor beats Duke in the second round, and we're all talking about it. Okay, go ahead. Next one.
All right, the mortgage. This is Mike Nelson, efficient lending mortgage. Mike Nelson. You want to buy a house? Call Mike. You have maybe sketchy credit? Call Mike. Pete, you let us off really well talking about Mike Nelson, efficient lending. He gets it done. The man is a wizard. He has a great YouTube channel too. Go check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're big fans of Mike Nelson. He approved of this mortgage bet. Okay. he maybe doesn't approve of you actually putting your mortgage up to make a bet, but he did like the bet.
Did he really?
He liked it. This is where we're going. So remember, mortgage is we pick two teams and we get to tease it down a little bit so it's in our favor. So the bet is it's money in, money out. You put $100 in, you make 100. Okay, we're not trying to swing for big fences here, okay, Pete? Because you have to pay your mortgage. So let's not have this be super risky. The Cougars from Houston, the number one team, Pete. They were so close to being the number one overall seed in this deal. Give me your quick thoughts on Houston. You watched them.
I love them. I called a few of their games. I think Kelvin Sampson's on our current Mount Rushmore of coaches active that are, just the best in the country, obviously. And then I just think that the shooting that they have this year with Emmanuel Sharp and LJ Cryer separates them. I think they would have gone to the Final Four last year if Jamal Shed didn't get hurt. I really believe this could be Houston's year. I am in love with the Cougars more than anything because defense travels. So you're always going to have that grit and that toughness that's going to keep you close no matter what. So Houston was always going to be an MFer, but now they have shooting, which I think will put them, in maybe a game this year where the shooting doesn't come through, they're still going to beat you with defense, right? But more often than not, they will generate enough points to complement that great defense. So I look for, this could be a championship run for the Cougars. It really could be.
It very well could be if I can get my words out, Pete. I'm going to quote my amazing mother-in-law, Ellen, who never watches any basketball. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. But
where is she? She's in the Houston area, right?
She lives in Houston. Yep, they're Houston. So now they're Baylor. My father-in-law, her husband went to Baylor. Her daughter went to Baylor. Her son-in-law clearly went to Baylor. So they're Baylor people, but she roots for Houston, let's be honest. And we're there last weekend, a game Baylor should have won. It was heartbreaking the way we let that second half lead drop to Houston. But she said something to me that stuck. And she said, Corey, can Baylor trade for that Sharp guy? And I said, it doesn't really work that way. But no, we can't trade for him. He could. There's a thing called a portal, and I had to explain what that was. That was a 20-minute conversation. The point of it being, Pete, if I had to pick 5 players from the entire tournament, you let me put my team together, and I get the pool of all of them, I'm taking Sharp as one of my 5. I think that guy's a dog. He gets at it. He was the reason why Houston came back and beat Baylor on that final Saturday. So Houston, for the sake of this, in the teaser, so they're minus 28.5. They're playing
28.5.
28.5. They're playing, I don't even know what the SIU stands for, but it's SIU Edwards as the 16 seed. We're going to tease that down to only 24 points. So Houston has to win by 24 points to cover the tease here. Scotty, I'm not sure how we laid the graphic out, but I'll go into the second one just in case, because I'm not sure. The second part of the tease, Missouri. So I told you, the league is top-heavy. 4 teams. Missouri can score the ball. Missouri will be our 5th team out of the SEC to do well in this tournament. It starts with Drake, and not Drake Toll, who used to be he's a friend of the network with
I love Drake Toll.
We love Drake Toll. This is not Drake Toll. This is the Drake University. Missouri is favored by 6.5. This offensive juggernaut. We're going to tease that down to -2. -2. Just win by a field goal, basically. So these both have to happen for us to hit the efficient lending mortgage bet. That's what we got to start calling this, the efficient lending mortgage bet. It's in the contract Mike Nelson signed this morning. So Houston minus 24, coupled with Missouri -2. That's your mortgage bet. Your significant others will be happy that you have paid your mortgage for next month, and your bracket will be doing a little better too.
All right, so that is because I'm writing these down. So here's what I have for you. Okay.
Okay.
I have Gonzaga -5.5 over Georgia.
Yep.
Arkansas +4.5 over Kansas. St. John's -18.5 over Omaha. Troy +10.5 over Kentucky. And then we've got Illinois, who Corey can see going to the Final Four, apparently, over either Texas or Xavier. It doesn't matter.
I didn't say Final Four. What do you say? I didn't say Final Four.
Over Texas.
Make some noise. Make some noise.
The Mike Nelson efficient lending mortgage bet. We're going to tease Houston down to 24 and Missouri down to 2, right? And Houston over SIU Edwards. You know, dude, my buddy Tony Hayden and I talk. Tony comes on the show every so often to talk. He played college hoops at Mount St. Mary's, and he's loves the White Lotus, so we'll talk about that. Tony was making a great point because when he was a senior at Mount St. Mary's, they played Michigan State in the first round. He was a walk-on, he earned a scholarship, was a key role, a key player on the team. He just said it was like they were in quicksand against these guys. And it's kind of amazing when you think about it. It would almost be, I said this yesterday, if like the Houston Texans on their road to the Super Bowl, they had to play like Sam Houston State in the first round. Like that's how crazy the disparages are. And right, like with disparity in some of these teams. I mean, because some of them we're talking private jets all season long, amazing nutrition, amazing athletes, and then you got a team that plays in front of 800 people a game, right? Like flying around on some BS plane with me and you. Yeah, like it's crazy. It really is. Like the NBA tournament is bananas, especially the first couple rounds, and it's one of the best things on earth because we might see an upset or two.
Yeah, I think that the blueprint, and I know we went years without a 16 seed upsetting a 1, and then in the last 5 we've had it happen twice. But both times, Virginia and Purdue were more like these defensive, grind it out, throw it into Zach Edey teams. That's not Houston. They will defensively lock you down, but they can score the ball too. And that's where it's just hard for these 16 seeds to keep up offensively. They need it to be a grind of a game. Houston is not going to grind out this game. It's going to be a lot of offense.
And nobody's getting comfortable over there at Houston. Like I got a chance to see them practice a couple times this year. Like the kid Uzan, who's like their best player. Yeah. In a lovingly coaching way, Kelvin Sampson just rides his ass all practice long. Yeah. Like if the guy does something great, the next play, if he does something a little off, he's like, there you are resting on your laurels. A message like that. It's like these guys stay motivated.
He asked him, didn't he ask Calvin to be like, be hard on me?
Yes.
He asked him that, didn't he? Yeah, he wanted that.
And now, by the way, people are talking about him being a first round pick, possibly.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But the fact that you said possibly, this with the all-star guard or forward that's going in the first 5 picks, this is a team that they are not thinking. I mean, I'm sure they all think what they want to do after they play at Houston, NBA, overseas, G League, whatever. This team cares about what they need to do right now. And I think that's what is valuable when it comes to this tournament. So, okay, right. One final thing before I go. Yeah. Okay, what? You tell me.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, futures. Now,
yes!
I'm not divulging my picks because I want to pitch you and Scotty on doing a little bracket challenge, and maybe we promote that on Rogue Media for the next couple of days, see how many people we get to sign up. I'll talk to you about that later. So I'm not going to tell you my picks. but I'm going to tell you my value picks here for the future, for futures of the NCAA tournament. And we look at the odds here. You have the Duke Blue Devils at plus 280, Florida at plus 390, Auburn, Houston. These are the favorites. We got to dig down, Pete, to find the gold.
Yeah.
And we got 2 here. Okay? These are teams that are a little bit long shots, odds-wise, but are still solid teams that if they found themselves in the championship game, you would not be surprised. And the first team from the Big 12, Texas Tech, and our other team, St. John's, who we talked about already, plus 3,000 and plus 3,200. That means you put $100 in, you win $3,000. I mean, Pete, if you saw Tech or St. John's in the championship game, would they be massive underdogs against whoever they would be playing?
You're telling me that – hold on. I got to wrap my brain around this. You're telling me that St. John's is a 32 to
32 to 1 odds. I'm looking at it here on FanDuel. Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. Now, I think that's because clearly FanDuel values the top 4 seeds heavily. And then the fifth best odds is Alabama at 20 to 1. That's your 5th best odds. You almost could just go down the list and start, selecting certain picks if you wanted. You could take.
I'll tell you what. Usually, I cut clips after the show. My first stop is putting a bet in on St. John's to win the national championship after this. Thank you very much, Corey Dickman.
That's why I'm here. I think we're all aligned. Scotty likes St. John's. I'm feeling St. John's. You like St. John's. Next up, I got Rick Pitino's calling in to give us his pregame speech. We're good. Brought to you by Efficient Lending, Mike Kelson. So maybe not, but maybe Rick Pitino, after they win the championship, maybe comes on the Pete Sousa show.
Maybe he does, or maybe we catch up with him this summer. Maybe it's not an instant interview. But maybe it's something we work on.
Let it breathe a little bit. Breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
So those are my futures. That's not who I think is going to win. Okay, I'm not revealing that right now. But I like those two as value picks at plus 3,000 and plus 3,200. You're making some good money there. All
right, there you go. Corey Dickman, the Grand Poobah, and I got your picks written down right here. So we're gonna go with those. And I legit right now, I'm gonna crush that St. John's. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Crush it. And just for some validity, and I had this written on my piece of paper, and then of course I left it on the bedstand next to our sleeping baby. But 70% was my hit rate for the Super Bowl. 70.
Woo!
That makes you some money. That's good.
It does.
So
real good.
Go Eagles.
And honestly, that means that over the course of the year, we were positive. We were in the black.
We were in the black. We were totally in the black. The only thing that hurt me was the rushing. Like this, because Jalen Hurts ended up leading the game in rushing, and that, where was Saquon, Pete? I needed Saquon.
That's going to be over too. Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right, March Madness, we're going to do better. Corey Dickman, we appreciate it. Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovaceks. We're going to come back with one last segment after this. Scotty Swingler, great job, by the way. Take us to break.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show, getting ready to wrap up from San Francisco. Basketball tonight, ESPN2, Stanford and CSUN, formerly known as Cal State Northridge. I obviously don't pick these games, but I did find it odd that Stanford's only a 6.5-point favorite, which is good news to me because that seems like it'll make for an exciting game. Stanford has this dude, Maxime Reynaud, who is one of the best players in the country, so that's a reason to stay up late and watch. I mean, the guy's 7'1". He is 9th in the nation in rebounding and 15th in scoring. Only player in the country to average a double-double every night. To average 20 and 10. His 23 double-doubles are the most in the country, more than our boy Norshad Omir. And the guy shoots about 6 threes a game. So he'll take you out deep, and at 7 feet, it's always like crazy to watch. Scotty, let's do my picks real quick before we get out of here. And you can just throw them up one at a time. Okay. Texas, I love over Illinois. That's my first one. Okay. Texas is going to beat Xavier, and Rodney Terry. I think we forget about how much talent and how souped up that car in Austin really is. Texas could go to the Sweet 16. So I like Texas over Illinois. That's one of my first round bets. Second pick, Swingler, hit it. There you go. Mount St. Mary's and American. I guarantee they will beat Mount St. Mary's. Why do I guarantee? Because Tony Hayden, friend of the show who played at Mount St. Mary's, says that Mount St. Mary's is awful. He went to see him the other night, and he can't believe they won. He said their coach is amazing, but Mount St. Mary's is awful.
Pete, so when we said we were doing first rounds picks, I didn't think you were including first 4. So I thought you were picking American to beat Duke.
No.
I was going to give you so much crap.
No, for Christ's sakes. No. Yeah, there you go. Unless they get into an accident or they all get held hostage on the way to the game. No. The Duke basketball team is not going to get abducted and ultimately have to forfeit to American. All right, next, because American's going to win. BYU and VCU. This is an easy one. BYU is not a team, by the way, who I love, like, in the tournament. Let me do a quick search on this, actually. I want to find out because I think for some reason BYU, and this has happened in years past, they're so much better when they play in the evening. And this game is a 105 tip. And that's I bet that's why the spread is as low as it is. It's a 105 tip. So we still like BYU. BYU's still going to cover. That's a Thursday game, but that's a little closer than I'd hope. So of all my picks, I want you to be cautious with this one, but I still like BYU. But I'm telling you, for some reason, those guys suck in the afternoon. They always have. I don't know if it's a Mormon thing or what, but be careful with that. All right, next one. Scotty, keep it rolling. UCLA. I think this is an easy one. I think these are, some of these conferences are so good that, and they beat the hell out of each other all season long, that I believe that we overlook sometimes really how powerful they are. And UCLA, like, no doubt about it, should take care of business and win by at least 3 baskets. All right, next one, Scotty. I disagree with Corey wholeheartedly. Kentucky's going to beat the SHIT out of Troy. So there you have mine. And is that it for me, Scotty? That's it for my picks. So we'll be back tomorrow. One thing I want you to stay tuned for, okay? The Cam show's coming up next. Cam and I had a talk yesterday about Roger Clemens, and Cam thinks he's the all-time POS, piece of SHIT. We're trying to stay away from swearing. And his dad, Bill Stewart, was a journalist at one time, and he covered Roger Clemens when Roger Clemens was playing for Texas. And Cam and his dad, they're going to get into the shadows of the Roger Clemens situation and just kind of maybe how bad of a guy he might be. That's according to Cam. I told Cam the best part about the 80s was I had no clue about any kind of guy that Roger Clemens was. He was just a flamethrower, and he was fun to watch. But tomorrow, here's what we're going to do for tomorrow. I'm going to tell you right now. This game is going to end super late, and I've got to leave early in the morning. So I'm going to do a live wrap after the game, right? And I'll be able to talk about both of the play-in games. So when you see, it's going to be overnight. So when you guys see it tomorrow morning, it's going to be fresh. And then we're going to rerun our interview with our buddy Janet Van Geitenbeek before we get ready for the NCAA tournament. And we might just give you Corey again. I'm just full transparency here. Tomorrow is not setting itself up where we can do something live, but we're going to give you some fresh content overnight because I get to sit with Scott Williams tonight, right? 15-year NBA vet who played at North Carolina, and we're going to get to watch North Carolina, San Diego State together. So that'll be a lot of fun. That game will tip before our game does late night. Last little take on this. It's that time of year again, folks. When you go to bed and you fall asleep watching North Carolina and San Diego State, right, which starts at 9:10 Eastern time, and you wake up to cops playing on True TV, and you think like, oh my God, what is happening right now in my house? There's a raid going on. No, it's not. You fell asleep watching True TV, and that's why you're scared to death right now overnight, because I don't even know what comes on True TV, but I know it's a lot of true crime and scary stuff. That's all for the Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovakics. We'll catch you tomorrow. Scotty Swingler, Gold Star. Once again, make sure you guys are checking out the – please bear with me. I always don't want to get confused with Bear the Truth. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you.